Alright, defensibility check of set 6075, Wolfpack's tower. Which one?
Yeah, which tower's the Wolfpack tower? Is it the turret?
No.
Is it the gatehouse?
No.
Is it the ghost's little hideout?
Could
I
be.
think it's the ghost hideout, because it's got the flag.
Right, but
I would imagine that this is all supposed to be one tower, but for accessibility's sake, so that you can move around all of these ladders slash gates slash
Draw
stairs
floors.
slash doors slash floors.
if you look on the left side of the box art, we see a guy with a halberd marching up that bridge with a treasure chest. He's probably had to carry that a long way, and it's a real shame that he's just been dragging it.
Hopefully they used the Wolfpack cart
Right.
to bring it there, dropped it off for him, and went to go get more.
Yeah. So there's a ghost. And a stone parrot.
There's a stone
The
parrot.
stone parrot is very cool. Look at him perched there. Do you suppose one of them is a falconer?
That could be. That could be. I'll bet it's the guy with the eye patch, and that's why he has the eye patch.
Ah.
Mismanagement of birds.
Ooh. That's
Or
rough.
maybe
The ghost used to be
was
the
a
falconer.
and
Ugh.
Major bird mismanagement.
Oh, man. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Accessibility. So we have some inaccessible arrow loops.
Those little windows above the gatehouse, you can use them as windows, and you can use the ladder to get up there, but you don't have any footing to be able to use them as arrow loops. They're not of a good height or size. They're windows.
We have a storeroom, which is a nice thing, but the treasure chest rests on top of a couple of little handles, we'll say, right above water. So whatever you have down there, it's going to get ruined or spoiled.
The storeroom is 100% puddle down there. It's like the forestman's dungeon down there.
Yeah, and maybe that's how the ghost got to be the way he was. Maybe he used to be a prisoner,
That's
but he
possible.
just got too wet.
And he helps them on their missions now.
Yep.
That's cool. It's very sporting of him.
There are no living quarters in this tower to speak of.
There's not really floors in this tower. They all are ladder gate floor things that move around like a game of chutes and ladders.
I think that pretty much summarizes this entire tower. Chutes and ladders. There's no way to remotely raise the ladders or bridges or, as you said, the draw floor.
Yeah, it's all just on tension clips. There's no mechanisms, so these guys are having to kind of haul things around to get up to anywhere.
The turret on the right side of the tower is inaccessible because those crenellations get in the way of actually walking to that black turret with the stone bird.
The whole place is a jungle gym. I'll bet these guys are like super ambulatory.
Oh man. Yeah, and they're not even trying to hide like the forestmen. It's confirmed that they're a split-off faction, but they've abandoned trees.
Flying flags and red roofs, and there's no camouflage here.
Every level is accessible. That doesn't necessarily mean that the turrets themselves are, but we have ladders and draw floors that can take you to any part of this here tower. And the addition of the storeroom, although it would be very wet, is a welcome addition.
It's huge. There's tons of room down there. If it had any actual floors, it'd be a really great room.
That'd be a game changer for this set. Accessibility, -5, +2, net, -3. We're off to a rough start. On to defensibility.
Crenellation height isn't good anywhere, especially up top the tower in front of the red roof. You're entirely exposed on the sides, and there's no Merlon to duck behind.
There's a chronic lack of walls.
Probably for accessibility's sake, but since they have these opening rock walls on the sides, they really ought to have just continued those walls up a second level and have this a fully enclosed tower. That would have really aided in the defensibility of this place.
There's bad visibility.
There's a blind spot across the entire back of the tower. There's no windows in the entire back. From the front, it's tough to get to the windows. There's no windows going out 45-degree angles or anything. So it's actually kind of tough to see unless you expose yourself entirely to enemy archers. There's also not really a proper door. As we'd mentioned, these gate, door, ladder, stair, floor thingies serve lots of purposes. Very creative, these Wolfpackmen. But there's not really a door. You just lower a ladder.
We can assume that this tower is built in the middle of a river or a lake, or perhaps just off of the sea, because the entire thing is surrounded by water. So that's a big help. The narrow bridge would deter somebody from trying to take it by land, and you would need a boat to take it otherwise.
The narrow bridge, you could only send 1-2 persons wide at a time, and then it would be very cramped, so you can defend it with 1 or 2 persons.
Defensibility, -5, +2. Net, -3. The same scores we got for accessibility. This isn't looking good. On to offensibility.
There are no machicolations to speak of. Perhaps you could argue machicolations beneath the black turret over here, but they wouldn't be good ones since they just go straight down to a little bit of rock and you can't really use them to get out from the walls. However, there are a couple of positives. We have murder holes, the holes that you climb up the ladder to get to the very top if you'd care to, or get up to those windows, also serve a defender up top of the front tower as murder holes to drop all sorts of nasty things down onto persons who may have made it through your gate ladder. And we have a ghost.
Yeah, it seems to be a staple of the last few flagship sets that we've taken a look at. I mean, it was a new piece for the time, so of course it's going to appear in several sets.
In the commercial, he helps the Wolfpack out, so we definitely know that this is an offensive ghost.
So based on that commercial, we can assume that that treasure chest is taken from the Black Knight's castle, which is quite the booty to annex. Offensibility, -1, +2, net of 1. Our current total is -5. Now, on to auxiliary graces.
This is an adequate garrison. This narrow causeway and difficult accessibility from around the tower does mean that you could defend it with 2 persons fairly successfully, and you've got those 2, as well as an archer who could be on that turret to defend the bridge as well. So this tower could be held pretty well with this garrison provided, even though it's a hardly defensible tower.
Our final total, -4. Score, 0. Unfortunately, this tower does not stack up.
It's too bad such a beloved faction as the Wolfpack, in their one real building, so wonky and indefensible a station as the one before us here.
So those 2 guys that we see pretty much right next to each other, I think both have scarlet capes, both have the same head and the same outfit. So what do you think's going on there?
Identical twins, evil twins.
Really?
Yeah. And it's really funny because each one's like, yeah, I have an evil twin. And then the other one's like, I have an evil twin. Because they're both evil.
Wow.
Yeah. And they think it's really funny.